Hello and welcome back to Autism Diagnosis to Confident Mom. Today we're talking about routines, why it helps our ADHD and autistic kiddos, and most importantly, what to do when our routine is disrupted, when it doesn't go as planned. How do we recover from that? Welcome to the Autism Diagnosis to Confident Mom podcast with Kira from Kira Brown Coaching. I'm a mom of neurospicy kids and a life coach. I'm here to share real tips and support to help you feel confident as a parent. Today we're talking about when routines fall apart, because they do, let's be honest. Plans change, teacher's out, grandma comes to visit, something happens, and then our kids fall apart. Let's talk about what to do. This is on my mind lately because this is what I call single parent October. My husband is very busy with work and we don't see him a lot. And that causes a schedule change. And we have lots of extra meltdowns and it's super fun. But let's talk about routines first before we talk about how to deal with it. Let's just have a quick review of what a routine is. A routine is a guideline of how we want our day to go, what we expect to happen. It helps if it's a visual routine that they can see. They process pictures a little bit better than they do words sometimes. So pictures can be very helpful for our neurospicy kiddos. Routines give relief to our neurospicy brains. For autistic kiddos, the predictability makes them feel secure. They know what to expect. Their nervous system calms down when they know what to expect. And when our routine goes out the window, when we have a lack of routine, it triggers anxiety, sensory overload, and or shutdown. So they like the predictability that calms their nervous system. With ADHD brains, it's an external structure for when they have internal chaos. Their mind is going 100 miles an hour on a different million things. And so it's kind of like scaffolding. It's holding it all together. And when the scaffolding collapses, when that routine collapses, we see impulsivity, frustration, and distraction come back in. So these changes can disrupt our kiddos' lives. It can be very hard for them. It's not a behavioral issue. It's a nervous system issue. It's a meltdown, not a tantrum. And it may appear right away and it might appear later. So we've had some of all of these. So sometimes, like we know grandma's coming or something, we might have anxiety before. He has a hard time going to bed because grandma's coming. And what if this happens? And there's a lot of what ifs that come up for him. It might come during the activity. Somebody knocks on the door unexpectedly and drops by to visit. Anybody else's child gets super hyper, bouncing off the walls and unable to follow directions. That would be a form of dysregulation that has come from a schedule change. They weren't expecting it, and here we are. Or it can happen after the fact, later on. So, for example, right now we live on a ranch and we do what we call shipping calves. So at the end of the year, we ship calves to new owners. And we have a crew that comes in and helps us do that because we do not have enough people year round to handle the big project that it is. So we usually get 7 or 8 people that come and help. And my autistic kiddo loves when the cowboys come. Loves it. And they're usually here for 2 days, but by the end of day 2, we have the Cowboys have gone home and it's the evening after, and that's usually when we'll see the struggles with that routine change. And it has come from having extra people at our house. Dad's extra busy. We don't see him very much. And so just remember that those difficult times can come before, during, or after the change of routine. Things that can affect routines are parents' work schedules. If a parent is gone when they're normally home, that can affect them. When you have people visit, whether they just stop by or you have a play date for your other children or your neurospicy child, or grandparents come to visit, any of those types of things, when people come to visit, a change of plans unexpectedly, sometimes even expectedly, we can still have meltdowns. When there's a delay, have you ever thought, okay, we're going to go do this at 10 o'clock, and then something comes up and you have to push it back till tomorrow or 2 o'clock or whatever? That can cause dysregulation from a change in routines. Even something as simple as a change of the people that are there. So this would be like if we're going to school, if we have a substitute, that can cause dysregulation. We change seats, we change who we're sitting by during school, can cause dysregulation. Our little friend that we play with at recess isn't at school today, that can cause some dysregulation. All of these little changes that neurotypical brains can handle greatly disrupt their sense of security and their infrastructure. And then it can also be something as simple as our sensory needs are shifting and changing, or our moods are shifting and changing, and that can cause dysregulation from a change in routines. So what do we do about this? Because it happens a lot at my house. We try to have a routine. I also have ADHD though, so I'm not the best at sticking to a routine, but we try to have a routine and then things change. There are things I can't control, right? Like I can't control my husband's work schedule. I can't control when somebody knocks on the door and stops by to visit. I can't control when his teacher gets sick. I can't control a lot of these things. And so first of all, just remind yourself that it's normal. It's normal for neurospicy kiddos to have a hard time with routine change. It's totally normal. It's hard for I don't want to say that. It's hard for neurotypical kids to have change in their routine, but it's extra hard with kiddos that are neurospicy. We can work on re-regulating. We can get a weighted blanket or a fidget or do some breathing exercises or visit our calm down corner. There's some different things like that we can try. And just remember that routines are meant to support us and our kiddos. And if it's not working, it's okay to reevaluate. Let's look at the data. Are they working? Are they not? And we can reevaluate and change things. I wouldn't change all of your routines at once, but just one little thing at a time. Let them get used to that and then go from there. If the big picture has changed, let's say grandma is coming and we're having some dysregulation, we can work on the micro routines. What micro routine is still there? So the big picture is grandma's going to be here. We're going to eat an hour later because grandma's traveling and she's not going to get here till then. So how can we do a micro routine? How can we have them still help us set the table? How can we, whatever your routine is, what little things can you still put into place so that as much as possible is still standard? Can they still sit in their assigned spot at the dinner table? Can they eat earlier and the rest of the family eat later? Can you have normal foods for them, ones that you know that they'll eat at the dinner, rather than new foods. What micro things can we keep in place? Something else that helps significantly is if we stay regulated ourselves, which is easier said than done sometimes, and I understand that. But if we can stay regulated, they can draw on our calm, and that will help calm their nervous system. It's called co-regulation. So if we can keep regulated, then they can co-regulate with us. We can share our calm. And last but not least is when we know there's going to be a routine change, talk about it. Maybe even get out a piece of paper and have them draw their new schedule for the day or whatever it is that's changing. Talk about it, explain it, talk about it often, prepare them. Once again, remember, changes in routine are normal. It is hard for them. It is not a behavioral problem. It is a sensory, a nervous system. It's a feeling unsecure, unsupported, and it makes them a little dysregulated. But we can do this, Mama. You've got this. I know you do. If you need some extra help, reach out to me and share this with any other mamas that you know that might need some help. I'd be glad to help them too. And we will see you next week. Thanks so much for listening to Autism Diagnosis to Confident Mom. If this episode helped you feel a little more seen or supported, please take a moment to like, follow, or subscribe to the podcast. And if you know another parent who needs to hear this, share it with them too. We're all in this together. You're doing better than you think, Mama. You've got this.